In India, poverty is so pervasive that you can either decide to forget about it or you can decide to fight it. You can't ignore it. India has the world's largest child population. More than 150 million children in the age group of 0 to 6 years of age live in India. 50% of them go to the free government system. However, if you look at grade 5 and learning outcomes, we find that nearly half of the kids in India are unable to read a single paragraph or to do basic subtraction or division, which renders them unable to do anything further in formal education or even formal employment. My goal as a social entrepreneur is to come up with solutions and innovations that really change the fabric of the world and in a way that benefits low-income populations and populations that nobody is building anything for. Essentially, we're trying to change the social fabric of the country and the norms of the country to a situation where low-income parents, who are the majority of the population, are actually going to spend time every day, 20 minutes, on learning. This is a huge change, right? You're trying to basically shift time use patterns of a huge population onto something that they have not been doing earlier. And so I think that challenge is what consumes us every day. So I was born to a family of government officials. We lived in smaller parts of India as well, and we could see the poverty and the lack of opportunities that others faced. But I was lucky that I was in a middle class family and got the best out of education. I think from early age, we were cognizant of the privilege that we've had in terms of great education, the opportunities that afforded us, and on the flip side, the lack of opportunity that faces more than 5 crore or 50 million children today in the 0 to 6 age group in the country. The more I thought about it and the more over the last 10 years as I worked in the social impact space, I felt that the first 6 years are where most of your development happens of your brain and your body. We're an edtech non-profit working to help 1 million children in India so far with early childhood education. Our short-term goal at Rocket Learning is to really comprehensively work together to help children get up to speed. Rocket Learning's approach is to create these dynamic digital communities of parents and preschool teachers to empower them and inspire them to be active participants and enablers in their child's learning. So Rocket Learning has created 70,000 WhatsApp groups which act as dynamic communities on which we are able to share some content that is easy for children to do in their own homes or in their learning centers. You already are on WhatsApp, you're already using it to send messages to your family, etc., etc. And so through that 70,000 groups and 1 million parents get our content, we're able to then send back nudges and content which is very personalized for a particular user, a particular group, a particular teacher. We have more than 2,000 audiovisual pieces, worksheets, etc., that are then shared with the last mile with parents and teachers who can then use them in their daily life.
The railways are shut, the airlines will soon be shut, and interstate bus travel is all shut. There's a lot of unknowns about how this is going to play out in India, and the honest truth is nobody really knows at this point.
For close to 2 years in India, and in fact in the world, children did not come to schools. So most schooling actually shifted to homeschooling for those 2 years. And so maybe the higher income child didn't lose out on so much. They also had access to online classes and so on. But low income children living in rural parts of the world were not able to access any sort of online education for the most part. That's where our programs for engaging parents through technology actually came into being. It's not rocket science, honestly, to teach kids the basic fundamentals. You just need to be able to give some information to the right person. One is parents of children, low-income parents. Secondly, we saw that there are these 1.3 million Anganwadi workers across the country, daycare workers paid by government, all female. They feel that they can be educators and that they should be recognized as such, and they also feel that they need support to do a better job in their classrooms. Over the last few years, we've been lucky to see phenomenal impact on the children, parents, and preschool teachers who've been a part of the program. You've seen that for parents, there is very significant behavior change. Parents who are a part of our program are actually engaging twice the number of time and number of days as counterparts who are not part of the program. They spend a lot more time with the children. They're a lot more confident in their abilities. And for children themselves, we see that they are actually school ready and life ready by the age of 6 if they've gone through the program. Their scores on tests improve by 30% or more. But more importantly, they actually shift to the top 1/3 of what they would have been if they were not part of the program. Even beyond academic skills, I think the most visible signs of impact are when I go into the field and talk to parents and Anganwadi workers, right? And they tell me that children are not afraid of going to school anymore, they're not running away, they want to go to the center, they're looking forward to these playful learning activities as opposed to running away from them. They're confident in what they can do, they don't mind getting up in front of a group and showcasing what they are able to do, and they have more self-control and ability to interact with others as well. I think in that way, if you go and see some of these children, you really see them in a very different trajectory from what they were on otherwise. There have been so many times when I thought that we've bitten off more than we can chew, that we're attempting the impossible. And in fact, a lot of the ecosystem has told us this as well, that why are you working with parents, how are they going to make a change, how are you using technology in a country that often doesn't have any. But then luckily it's always been counterbalanced by the community of users that we've had who've told us in no uncertain terms that what you're doing is helpful to us and we want you to continue working with us. The most significant part about our success as a rocket learning organization has been the fact that we've been able to get a lot of talented, mission-oriented people right from the beginning who work together without any ego, all with a single-minded focus to solve the problem. I've been incredibly fortunate in my personal journey to have family members, parents, my spouse, siblings who have been willing to support whatever I do, and in fact who don't think it's a step down to go into social entrepreneurship from a corporate career. They think that this is the best thing that I could be doing and they're proud of me for doing that. I think that takes away all pressure on you to follow your dreams. A lot of my personal journey has been driven by folks who have supported me. They've known that I'm not going to be financially as successful as many of my peers. They've thought that what I'm doing is the best thing that I could be doing and that I'll change the world, and that's really been a huge support for me.